By now, you know it's time for our Monday stroll down memory lane. But you might not know, tonight marks the 6th anniversary of News 810.
News 8 Now's Dave McKinley continues the tradition on Rochester's first TV station.
10 years ago this week, when The Last Dance at Studio 54 was held, the first Rochester-based troops were on their way to Bosnia, and the first Mission Impossible movie opened at box offices this week in 1996. 20 years ago this week, Rochester-based priest Charles Curran was hip deep in controversy for his outspoken teachings, which ran contrary to those of traditional Catholicism. For them, he'd soon be forever banned from teaching at Catholic institutions. The order, in fact, came from John Paul II's right-hand man, a Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, whom you might know has done pretty well for himself since this week in 1986. 30 years ago this week, truckers gathered to watch a demonstration of a new safety device proposed for 18-wheelers, one which had actually been used in large aircraft since the 1950s.
We feel that the safety aspect of it involved will far offset and defray the cost of the equipment.
This week's News 8 Then Pop Quiz, what are you watching one of the very first demonstrations of locally this week in 1976. Meanwhile, in the nation's capital, a new orientation center opened in the shadow of the Washington Monument. Significant to us because
it's a bicentennial gift to the nation from Eastman Kodak Company.
But wait, there's more.
The center's theater offers continuous showings of Washington the Man.
What could be better?
Portrayed by Lorne Greene.
Uh-oh.
Here, Greene concludes Washington's farewell address to his troops.
Now, as I bid the final adieu.
I tell you what, you guys have been so good to me for the past 6 years, I'll spare you the rest. 40 years ago this week, and only a year after it opened, Mobil Chemical's new Canandaigua plant was destroyed by fire. The interesting thing to note here is that if this ever happened today, you'd know they'd evacuate everyone within a country mile, and no way would a volunteer firefighter be allowed to clamber up on the roof and start whacking away with an axe. Wouldn't nary a stitch of protective clothing, let alone a mask, to protect him from the toxic smoke belching from the burning styrofoam meat trays they used to produce here. You'd think somebody would have gotten a clue as cameraman Charlie Plantard attempted to interview the plant manager mid-blaze.
Excuse me.
Well, you never know what to expect when you're on the scene.
We can look at the building right now. I see a lot of flame pouring out of the front portion there.
Yeah, how about that?
I just noticed that, too. I thought we had the thing pretty well contained now. Back to you, Tom.
Good idea, Charlie. And it was all News 8 Then.
Now, the answer to this week's News 8 Then Pop Quiz. What new safety device was being demonstrated in Rochester 30 years ago this week?
Anti-lock brakes. Though they'd been in use on commercial airliners since the 1950s, it would be a few more years before they became optional for passenger cars. Today, anti-lock brakes mandatory for all new tractor trailers.